A young lady, 28 years of age, in the state of Georgia, was going through a mental health crisis. Her parents called 911. 911 responds. Instead of taking her to the hospital, they put her in handcuffs and put her inside of the squad car and proceed to the county jail. Well, something happened. We don't know exactly what happened, but we do know that the sheriff, the elected sheriff, came to the parents' home and said their daughter was unconscious and their daughter was being airlifted to Grady Hospital, which is miles away from that home. She has now died. Let's put up the picture of this young queen who passed away, okay? Her name is Brianna Grier. Something happened to Brianna in that vehicle. Somehow, the police, they want us to believe that she was handcuffed in the back of a squad car and she just simply fell out. That is the story right now from the police. If you remember last week, I told you the story did not make sense at all. And that's when they were spinning the narrative that she was in fact unconscious. Let me show you a picture of her in the hospital. Okay. Her mother said it was very difficult to see her daughter with all of those life-saving tubes trying to keep her daughter alive. Let me show you a picture of the family. See, this is what happens when there's neglect and intentional violence against citizens. You see that family? Mom, dad, and the daughters, the twins of Brianna Grier. Their lives will never be the same because the parents called 911 thinking 911 was going to help. Somehow, that 911 call led to the death of their 28-year-old daughter who had a diagnosed mental health issue. Let me give you some more background to this. Marvin Grier said his daughter, who was diagnosed with schizophrenia years ago and prescribed medication, had been at her parents' home on July 14th. Follow the timeline. She was visiting her 3-year-old twins who lived with their grandparents. Grier left the house for a while and then came back in crisis after midnight, her father said. When Brianna Grier's parents phoned the police, they phoned the police to help her, not to hurt her. When they phoned the police, explaining to the police that their 28-year-old daughter was in the middle of a mental health crisis, they expected the paramedics. This was a 911 medical emergency. But instead of the paramedics, the police came. But when the sheriff deputies arrived at their home in Sparta, Georgia, late one night this month, they told Grier they smelled alcohol on her breath. Wait a minute. This was a medical emergency call. Instead of the paramedics, the police come. They smelled alcohol on her breath. She's at home. She's at a residential property. What's illegal about alcohol on your breath? Nothing. There's more. And after she admitted she had been drinking, they decided to put her in handcuffs, loaded her into the patrol car, and told her that they were going to detain her for intoxication on a private residential property at a family's house who did not want her arrested for intoxication. They wanted her to get help for the mental health crisis, all right? She was supposed to receive medical attention the next morning, but she never got the help. Instead, she died from the injuries suffered in police custody. There's more. The GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, said in a statement Thursday that his initial investigation found that Ms. Grier fell out of the patrol car on July 15th. Wait a minute. She was at the parents' home on July 14th. The GBI investigation says they found that Ms. Grier had fallen out of the vehicle on the 15th. There's more. This was on the way, according to the GBI, to the Hancock Sheriff's Office. But she was supposed to go to the hospital. But they were taking her to jail, no medical treatment. She was pronounced dead Thursday afternoon at Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta, according to the statement. Let me show you a picture of the sheriff. This is the elected sheriff of Hancock County, Terrell Primus. Dr. Primus is the one who informed the parents that the daughter was in bad shape. I think there's more to this story. The Hancock sheriff that you're looking at, he's the one who brought in the GBI to investigate his own officers. He did. He brought in another investigative body to investigate his deputies. Obviously, the father, Marvin Grier, is upset and demanding answers. He said, and I quote, the father, "We need to know what happened to our daughter," he said in a phone interview Friday with the Washington Post. "If we had known it was going to end up this way, we would have let her stay here." The incident has raised questions about the safety measures taken in her case, such as whether there was a malfunction with the patrol car doors or whether she sustained the fatal injuries another way. So let's go through the evidence here, counselor. The 911 call comes in. It is a clear and precise medical emergency based on what the parent said. Instead of paramedics coming, they send the police. The police utilize really a false pretense to arrest her because public intoxication without disorderly conduct is no crime on a residential property. So they use a false pretense, lock her up, put her in handcuffs, put her in the back of the squad car, attorney. Somehow she's able to open the back of the squad car. Now for the uninitiated, that's important because you cannot open the back of a squad car. It does not allow it. So somehow in transport to jail rather than the hospital, a day later, she is found on the ground, head trauma, unconscious. Still, no answers from law enforcement. Adrienne, what does your attorney sense say about this case?
Well, I would say not only my attorney sense, but common sense tells me that the cops are lying. Something is wrong. The backseat handles, those door handles have been disabled for a reason, to ensure a suspect remains or an arrestee remains in the back seat. So for this to be a rare situation where all of a sudden it decides to unlock itself, I don't think so. And I'm sure it's a Ford vehicle, and I'm sure the police would hold Ford liable for that, especially if you're going to have an injury like this, claiming someone fell out of a car. The reality is that Georgia is in the top 5 states for arrest-related deaths. There is a problem here. And the thing is, we are not getting the truth. What happened to this woman, Grier, is incredibly suspicious and wrong. She should not have been taken in from the jump. And also, the fact is she was having a mental health emergency. Fortunately, we do have a new number that's been released, 988, that people can call in the middle of a health emergency situation. But clearly, the police knew that it was not their duty nor their job to take her in, and she showed up dead in circumstances that are completely and totally implausible. So somebody needs to give these people an answer about what happened to the death of their daughter, and the law enforcement officers involved need to be held accountable.
It's about accountability at this point, and I hate to say this, I hate to say it, but it's so true. If you call 911, you have to be prepared for your life and the person who you're calling 911 on for their lives to change forever. You have to be prepared for that reality. It may happen. That shouldn't be it. That's why we can't simply talk about reform the police. We have to talk about replacing them, all right? We're gonna continue to follow this story as we have.